Brandi Dequin, joined by Sherman Smoot, pilot of Czech Mate. I'd love to hear the history of Czech Mate.
Well, it's a 1956 Russian-built airplane, a Yak-11, and it was built in Czechoslovakia, so that's one of the reasons we called it Czech Mate. We've owned the airplane. It was owned by Bob Yancey, and after he passed away, we bought the airplane from him. He's the one that did all the work pretty much on the engine design and adding the engine to the airplane. But it's got a great race history, and we hope to carry that race history forward.
So any obstacles with your R2800 engine?
Well, we did have a learning curve. The installation is fine. We came up here to race, and we've never raced an R2800 before. And the first year up here, we had a major incident. We broke the master rod on the front 9 cylinders and caught on fire on the race course, and did a pretty spectacular Mayday. At least it was for the crowd. It was a little scary for me, but
wow.
But landed downwind, and we ended up going off the runway and ground looping the airplane to keep from going over a cliff. And as a result, we did a little gear damage and wing damage, and we had to, of course, rebuild the engine. But once we got Pete Law on board, who was a fluid dynamicist, yeah, we haven't had a problem with that engine. He's an old retired Skunk Works guy, and he's a big-time racer. We love him dearly, and he keeps a lot of these engines healthy.
So what are your challenges when competing against, for example, Strega and Voodoo?
Well, of course, you know, they're Mustangs, and Mustangs has a smaller profile. You know, they have a lot smaller frontal area, so they come down the chute much faster. They have a slightly different wing design with the laminar flow wing. So they're always going to get us on the race start pretty much. I mean, they just have you know, they're low profile, they're fast in the air. Trouble with Merlins is they're a V12, and then in order to develop horsepower to stay in front of us, they have to wick those engines up pretty tight. And as a result of that, usually one or two of them don't quite make it through the end of the race. So I can't pass them. If they're running good, I just have to sit back there, be sort of like a mosquito, you know, that you swat at, you know you're back there, and make them keep the power up, and hopefully one of them will break. You know, in this business, a pass is a pass, you know.
So in racing on a course like this, what are your race tactics?
That's the secret, but the main thing is this course has been narrowed, and as a result of the narrowing of the course, you know, it's narrow this way. It's still fairly long. As a result of being narrowed, the turns are harder, and we're pulling a little more G. You know, this last race I did 6.3 Gs in a few of the turns, and that's the bad news. The good news is this little airplane, the wing I have, corners pretty well. So while the guys end up pulling and drifting outside of me, I can turn inside of them. So they may gain me on the straightaways, but I got them on the turns. So that's I'm just going to fly the best course I can and stay inside.
So what's it like racing here at the Reno Air Races?
It's probably the funnest thing you can do with your clothes on.